I'm good. How are you?
Good. I know Queen just got here, but what are your first impressions?
Well, when she played against us, she played great. But I mean, just her athleticism and her ability to just make an impact whenever she steps on the floor, whether that be defensively, rebounding. I got hit by a couple of screens. I actually need to talk to her about that. So I'm glad she's on our team. So I'm super excited about that for sure.
And I just want to ask you a couple things about Ariel. First off, I hear there's a nice bobblehead there.
Yes. No, that was that's pretty cool. I mean, just being her teammates, and she, got into the league, just seeing her growth, not even just as a basketball player, but even just as an individual and as a woman as well, and just even a leader. Just seeing how she came in, put her head down. Now she's a gold medalist. So I mean, just seeing her growth is just truly a blessing to be her teammate. We're locker buddies, so we talk a lot. But like I'm just excited to see her growth and to the trajectory of her career, all in the bobblehead.
And kind of building off that, what do you remember most about rookie Ariel, and what's something that's like the exact same that hasn't changed at all?
Probably her personality. Like that's just staying consistent. I mean, she's very, very much reserved. But you could just tell, like, even as her leadership style has grown, she's been a little bit more vocal. Regardless of if, like, I don't know if she's uncomfortable, but I mean, it just looks comfortable, and like her voice is powerful. But something that stayed the same, also her work ethic. And while also being a leader by like a vocal leader, she's always been a leader by example, no matter what how old she was.
Hey, Tori, obviously Eric said there were multiple things that he wanted to focus on. You guys have a little bit of time off in the games. I'm curious, since the last game on Sunday, heading to tonight's game, what do you think maybe has been a big point of improvement? Obviously, Elena practices.
Yeah.
Tosh was a little bit limited as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think you guys have
done? Probably our pace offensively, whether that be in transition, but even moving the ball side to side on offense. Being able to get to multiple actions, just knowing that how hard it is for us, just to defend multiple actions, being able to get other teams in multiple actions, moving the ball side to side with pace as well. And I think we've done a really good job at that in practice as well. So hopefully we can make that translate tonight.
And I know offensively, shots starting to fall a little bit more as of late. I know sometimes the shooters tonight's ball doesn't go in, sometimes it does, but is there anything different for you over the past several games? Seeing the numbers tick up like they have?
Yeah, just being aggressive. I know for me, keeping consistent with the work that I put in before and after practice, even during practice as well. But also now I have a pretty good screenshot or blueprint of the type of shots I get in the game, so I can now mimic those in game in my pre-practice and post-practice workouts, but also being aggressive in the opportunities that I get, and also just believing and playing hard, the little things.
Is that any different than what your role was last season?
No, I mean, that's one thing coach has always told me to do is be aggressive, whatever that looks like. And that, for me, just being able to be versatile, whether that means coming in and being aggressive defensively, whether that means being aggressive offensively, just being aggressive and making an impact. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, likewise.
Knowing how good Boston and Smith are in the paint, the bigs are going to have their hands full. What's the conversation like with the guards around how to help them? Is it about sinking, filling, dropping, help side? What's the conversation like?
Yeah, they're not out there alone. Being able to crowd the paint, making the post players uncomfortable, making them think a little bit. Are we doubling? Are we not doubling? And when they put on the floor, are we coming? Are we not? So different things like that. But like just having that open communication with them, knowing that they're not out there by themselves and crowding the paint. No problem.
Are you guys like aware that Ariel's about to break the franchise 3-point record, or is that?
I have I just found out from you. I just found out, but I'm not surprised. I mean, the work that she puts in, the consistent work, because it's easy to put work in here and there, but it's just consistent for her. Like she's been always putting her head down and working since she got into the league. So I'm not surprised at all. Yo, no, she's not at all.
Is that it for in person?
So
Yes, kids.
All right. Bye, Tori. Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys.
We'll start with in person.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What are your really early impressions of Queen?
She's good. I mean, she's good. I mean, it's been a short turnaround. I mean, she's just getting here. But I'm expecting great things. I mean, we had a chance to play against her earlier this year. We know she's a hustler, she's a defender, and she's a rim protector. So I'm definitely looking forward to that from her.
Now, I just asked Tori this, but I don't know how much you and your teammates know Ariel's about to break the franchise record for threes. Is that on your radar, or is that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but that's great for her. Hopefully she hope she can knock that down the first shot she takes. But no, it's great. I mean, it's no surprise. Ariel is always working on the game. She's a confident shooter. So congrats to her when she breaks that.
What do you remember about her, as a rookie, and how has she kind of evolved over her career?
I just remember her playing really hard but being really quiet. I know I've been down on myself a little bit a few times this season. And she's been really big with being in my ear and using her voice just to get me going a little bit. But we also hear her voice a lot more now in terms of leadership. So she's definitely grown in that area, and her game just continues to grow every year. So she continues to get better.
Last thing for me, so she's going to pass Ivory Latta. She needs 3 to pass Ivory Latta. And I know you played with Ivory a little bit early in your career. What are your kind of memories of Ivory? Do you feel like they're like pretty similar or pretty different?
They're pretty different. Ivory had played with more of a fire in a sense. I just remember playing with Ivory, and she was like, "Cece, run the floor. You're not running hard enough." But no, Ivory, you just know she was, she played hard. That's my girl. I do miss her. But yeah, I mean, it's a difference.
Tianna, obviously, it's a different situation playing Indiana this time around. Last time you did, but last time they made their presence known inside the paint. So I'm curious, what's the approach with matching up against Aaliyah and Alyssa in the paint?
It's gonna be a team effort tonight. We can't allow what happened the first game to happen again. But we were able to watch the film and learn from it. We're going in this game confident and ready to be better than we were last time.
Speaking of the paint, this team's really good at limiting opponents' points in the paint. Obviously, you can stretch the floor, but the post game will be important. What's the conversation been like with the bigs about how to make sure to attack the paint really often?
I'm just being good and keeping the offensive flow going. Just getting the ball side to side, just to open it up a little bit. It's just one of those things where we can't really force the issue. We just gotta let it come to us.
Thank you.
That's it.
More in-person questions?
Easy enough. Thank you guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's start with in person.
Before we take questions, I'd just like to say a word in remembrance of Nikki McRae-Penson, and she's somebody that's obviously a huge figure in the history of the Mystics franchises, and there's a lot of women's basketball organizations, colleges that are really hurting today, and it's a big loss across the women's basketball world. She's a gold medalist, and the Tennessee family, the Rutgers family, Mississippi State, Old Dominion, all the stops she made in the WNBA and elsewhere, and it's just a huge loss, and something that we felt here today for sure. And I don't know her well. I didn't know Nikki well, but it was the instances when she was around the team, it was great. She was still so passionate about the Mystics, and I think maybe left out South Carolina and probably some others as well. But it's just a big loss, and weighing heavy tonight, and we're gonna miss her. The game's gonna miss her, and hopefully we can honor her. Questions?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a little bit about that, just to follow how it gets about feeling it here today. Is that something you talk with the team about, or is that just like in the background and everybody's kind of aware?
We kind of gave the news to the team this morning. Coach T kind of stepped in and told everybody the news right before people saw it publicly. So it's definitely worth acknowledging. I think some of our players know her, some of them don't. The ones that have been here a while have, met her maybe at different points. And I think they know it, and I think they should know it. It's, she's a big part of the history of this team, and we should be aware of it and take a minute to think about it.
And when you say you want to honor her, what does that look like?
I mean, it'll be different things. She's going this year in the Mystics Hall of Fame, and unfortunately, she didn't get to do that. It was in the works, and she had been notified. She was excited, and it got pushed back. Obviously for obvious reasons now, but so that's one way. But also the way we play, and people that were here in the early days of the Mystics love the way she competed and the passion she played with. And I think we have to show those characteristics.
Pivoting to the current team, what can you tell us about
Elena and Tosh will both be out tonight, so we won't have either one of them. And so we got 8, and we'll be good to go.
Gosh, gotta get creative there.
Yeah.
Did any setback with Tosh? I know she was really raring to go.
No, I think she was excited to go, but just hadn't gotten on the court at all, and just thinking it was going to feel a little bit better this morning, and just came a little too soon. And it's hard too when you haven't really been able to get on the court for several days to just ramp it up to play a game. So maybe just a little too soon for both of them.
Makes sense. Particularly 3 and 5 days.
Yeah.
And then, Tyler was asking last week about Ariel being close to the franchise record for threes that Ivory has. And I was just curious, what are some similarities and differences you see between Ivory and Ariel?
Where's the count at? Where are we at? 2 from tying. Some similarities. Both fearless shooters. Ivory and Ariel both just, they're not going to pass up open shots, which is great. Ivory was maybe more top of the floor, pick and roll heavy, shoot them off the bounce. Could shoot them off the move and off the catch. Ivory and I always had a running joke about when she bobbled the ball. She shot like 90%. Like anytime she'd bobble it on the pickup or on the catch, she'd always make it. So she'd always turn and point and laugh at the bench when she'd do it. But Ariel's an interesting one in that, she started off her career pretty much shooting corner threes in our offense, and has evolved and done more and become more of a focal point. So that's been fun to watch that evolution.
Eric, obviously not having Tosh, knowing it could have been a possibility earlier in the week, did you come in with maybe 2 different type of game plans? Because those are 2 huge losses for you guys.
It changes things like matchups and what we run. Some of the principles and the core of the game plan probably doesn't change hugely. It's a little bit around the team you're playing. So the things you have to do against Indiana are very similar, no matter who's on the court. Defend the paint and keep them off the glass. We have a couple fewer bodies to do that with. But I think everybody that was in practice the last few days is ready for the challenge, and we had really good energy the days we were on the court. And so I'm excited to see what we do.
So you're down to 8. We're going to see you tonight.
Yes, you will see Queen tonight.
And lineups, anything changing? Keep that close to us.
Yeah, I'll wait till we have to. Yeah. Standard practice. Yeah. How you doing?
Right, how are you?
Good.
Feels like tonight points in the paint might be the big piece here. How good Indiana is against its opponents, stopping that, but also then Boston Smith. Would you agree? What are your thoughts on that tonight?
One of the biggest keys on the game plan. They've done a good job. I mean, there's a few centers in the league like this where you drop them into the team and they automatically become a good paint defensive team. Just the presence that Aaliyah has in there. Their offensive points in the paint is probably a little bit linked to their rebounding. They're just such a good offensive rebounding team that a lot of those are putbacks and points in the paint, but we got to keep their guards out of the lane with penetration as well.
Speaking of guards, I was asking Victoria about the role that guards have to play in terms of helping the bigs tonight, knowing how good they're in the paint. She talked about just communicating and working together as a team. Just what have the conversations been like on your end with the players about the role that guards play in helping that process?
We've been talking for a little while now about needing extra help on the glass, and I think at different times we've done a good job and sometimes we haven't. Slim's had some big rebounding games, but I think it starts with our point of attack defensive. We talked after Atlanta about our one-on-one defense not being good enough. And so with a team like Indiana, with the guards they have, I think that's one of the biggest things is getting back, getting matched up, and keeping the ball out of the paint so that our bigs don't have to overhelp. Yeah. Hey. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
to ask you, so like the last couple of weeks with all the injuries and Boston and all the stuff going on, and obviously injuries are affecting all the teams, but how do you think that can benefit this team long term, having to make the adjustments, having to play without only having to like having to make those constant adjustments, and you have coach having to think with all these different things? How do you think that could help you out with the season?
Yeah, maybe there's some things that you think about that you want to try, that you try out of necessity now, and that's okay. And you find out if it's something that might help you down the road. Honestly, most of it is just right now trying to figure out what we have to do to win these games, the game that's in front of us tonight. So you'll try some things to try to win that game. And if they are good for long term, then we'll keep them. But it's opportunity for other people to play too. I think sometimes it's how you get a couple players a better rhythm by getting more opportunity, maybe get more shots, and you get somebody's confidence up. So that's the things that can help us long term.
Tosh and Elena, do you feel like you might need to bring in another hardship at some point, or do you think this is just like a big player, like one time?
We'll see if it's one time only. I don't think we're probably, unless, like you mentioned, unless a setback or something does happen or something's more serious. I don't think that's the route we're going. I'd be surprised if we didn't see them both before the break. Whether that's Sunday or Tuesday, I couldn't say right now, but I'd be surprised if we didn't see them before All-Star. Somebody's here, knocking on the door. Something. Zoom?
Nope, we are good
All
to
right.
go. All right, everybody. Have fun tonight.